Welcome, everybody, to the Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast. This is episode number 162. My name is Tim. I am the Bible Thumping Wingnut. And Len Pettis,
Yes!
my co-host, is here, as well as my sister Jane. These two individuals have been battling it out in the adult coloring book versus oil painting world. We've had an auction, and we're going to find out whose piece went for more money. But we're going to talk about that later. That's kind of a little teaser. But let's just well, first off, I wanted to say, Len, it has been 2 years now. It's April 1st.
It's our 2-year anniversary.
For another 4 minutes here in the East Coast.
It's another hour here in Wisconsin. So.
2-year anniversary of Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast, and 3.5 years of the Bible Thumping Wingnut YouTube channel, which means I never realized how big of a number 1 million was. I mean, we have now over 1 million listens or views.
Yeah?
Over 1 million now, actually.
Isn't that exciting?
I didn't think it would take that long. Seriously, this is a long time.
Anniversary, happy anniversary, happy
Is it a long time?
Happy anniversary, pour a cheerful toast and fill it, happy anniversary.
No.
But be careful you don't spill it, happy anniversary.
That's a nice song.
Did you like it?
I did. That was good.
I don't remember the words like that though. That's from Flintstones.
Yeah.
The Flintstones.
I just had to throw that in there.
We weren't allowed to watch that in our home growing up.
Were you not allowed to watch that? Well, you know, Betty and Wilma had very low-cut dresses.
That's right.
No, it was the evolution part. They were cavemen. No, we watched Flintstones.
Evolution and short dresses, slutty cave women. Yeah.
So this is the Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast. Len and I are two laypersons. We are primarily the two co-hosts here each week, and we started YouTube channels 3 years ago, and we met and then started a podcast 2 years ago. We are a ministry of Striving for Eternity, and to find out more about Striving for Eternity, go to strivingforeternity.org. Len is in Wisconsin, I'm in Pennsylvania, and my sister joins us from time to time, and she is in New York. And you can contact us via email at BibleThumpingWingnut@gmail.com, and you can support us financially and prayerfully. We appreciate that. If you want to help us out with getting some new equipment to help us produce better podcasts and videos, if you want to help us pay for that equipment, go to BibleThumpingWingnut.com and follow the link to Patreon, and we would greatly appreciate that. So there you go. There's all the business right up front.
All the business out of the way. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes here.
The meat and potatoes. All right, Jane, is it okay to lie on April Fool's Day?
Nope.
Wouldn't you be like? I saw people posting like, be sensitive because there are people who, perhaps can't bear children, and it would be a really bad day to like post a joke like, hey, my wife and I just got pregnant with twins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that. That came on my feed a couple times.
Yeah, that's crap. Can I just say that?
I know it's very unkind. It's very
my ability to procreate has no effect on anybody else's inability to procreate. So I'm sorry. It's April Fool's Day. It's my favorite holiday, and
better than Resurrection Day.
It's
better than Resurrection.
Favorite holiday.
Resurrection Day is not a holiday.
Mm.
It's the day above all days.
I'm sensing a problem already.
Yeah, well.
So apparently, Len Pettis, you said that you and your wife were expecting twins.
Yeah, and you know what? One person was fooled. My niece. That's it.
Mm.
So everyone has a calendar. Everyone knew what was going on. So, ay. You know, people
So
are so sensitive. It's like, get over it. It's
I agree. You're going to insult or offend somebody. So it's like,
yeah.
it does get ridiculous. I just don't like April Fool's Day because I've been pranked a couple times, and so I just don't like it anymore.
Ooh, tell us about those.
I can't even think, but I don't like being gullible at all. So then I start doubting what everyone says. Like
That's
when I
good.
woke up this morning. Good. When I woke up this morning, I think it took me a couple of Facebook views to realize the date. And I get upset if any time passes on April Fools and I get fooled at all. No. Anyways, I don't do
Tim.
it anymore. I don't like it.
I got Tim first thing this morning. I got Tim good.
No,
What'd you do?
didn't.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, you did.
It was pretty good.
You lied to me. You deceived me. You chose a weakness in me. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was despicable, reprehensible,
Hilarious.
and I'm still waiting for an apology.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I noticed you're not holding your breath. That's pretty smart.
I'm gonna write
Come
down.
on, that was good.
So what
I'm
was
gonna-
it?
Wait. I'm gonna write down a timestamp because I want to address Jane's computer. Jane, are you using a different computer this time?
No.
Because your fan comes on and it roars.
It sounds like someone's vacuuming right behind you.
So
Well-
when you're
I wish they were.
Got the Roomba going. Shut up.
I'm
the
sorry.
Roomba.
No, it does.
just maybe when you're not, you're talking most of the time right now. But if you're not talking, you can just mute yourself.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll try to do that.
So here was the situation this morning. Tim and I talk. I get off of work at 6, and usually Tim is on the road or getting on the road at 6. So it's a good time to talk generally. So anyhow, there was a topic we wanted to address on the show, and this topic was addressed perfectly by John MacArthur. And we were going to we've approached someone to help us to get John MacArthur on the podcast. And so we
Just to try, not
right.
who knows?
We're like, hey, we know it's a long shot. So, but this is someone who works in the ministry with John MacArthur, and maybe would use his influence so he could get 15-20 minute interview with him. So he was like, hey, I know the guys who schedule his appointments. I'll see what I can do. So Tim calls me this morning,
You called me.
or I called you, and he's like,
And
hey, what's
instead of going to the bold-faced lie first, you hit me in a different direction.
Oh yeah, right. Like
Caused me to be
the
vulnerable.
like the serpent slithering into the Garden of Eden.
Right. It's like you're really, really good at deceiving people and lying to
Yeah,
them
right.
professionally.
Right. Pathologically.
Hey Tim, do you think this is how he started? Hey Tim, do you think that you could be home at 5:00 today? So I immediately know that he's okay. He for some reason he wants to record the podcast. So I start thinking about my day. Yeah, Lena, I think I can be home by then. And then you said,
Oh, then I said, well, look, we got a shot here that, it's a good time of day for John MacArthur to give us a short time for an interview. He hasn't committed totally yet, but if he can do it, this is the time he can, and we need to be available for it.
nice. Nice.
And Tim was like, let's see, I don't have any backhauls today. I don't have Gracie with me to stop that I have to take her for a walk to poop or anything, and I don't. I can be home for that.
I think I'll be home. I think I could be home for that.
Yeah, and I said, well, good, man. Let's, and we were kind of talking strategy, and I can't remember, but finally Tim was like, dude, are you kidding me? Are we really going to have to?
No. You just, as soon as you had me hooked, as soon as you heard the inflection of my voice of hope and like jubilee, April Fools!
That's mean. That's mean.
I win. I win.
That's what he said.
You win it. Meanness.
He's like, I'm getting everybody today.
I did. I started like at 12:01. I was posting on Facebook because I have my break is at midnight. So right away I posted to Facebook. I said, what's starting to make a lot of sense to me is theonomy.
Yeah, you had about 5 of them listed in a row.
Well, the fact that nobody bid on your painting will be payback for you. Okay.
That's fine. Then I get to keep a beautiful piece of art.
Or it could be April Fool's Day and somebody actually did.
Oh, how will I know? Well, April Fool's Day is over for you now, so you can't lie anymore.
It's not in your town. So
right. You know what's funny? You know what I saw a lot less of this year is Happy Atheist Day, and the fool says it in his heart.
I posted that on Google Plus.
You might be the only one I saw posted. This is the first time in like 3 years I haven't seen a Happy Atheist. Like I saw maybe a couple.
Andrew Rappaport says that April Fool's Day is the only day he tells the truth.
Oh, I should have asked him a couple things today then.
Actually, that's not
wow.
what he did. But he did say, to be clear, not to lie, he said April Fool's Day is the only day he does do practical jokes and be sarcastic. It's the only day. Does it all the other time.
I love it. I love April Fool's Day.
And your birthday.
No, not my birthday. I kind of have a Jehovah's Witness attitude with my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
When's your birthday?
Right by Tim's, February 16th. So we're just we're both Aquarii or Aquariuses.
No,
you're not.
I don't think so.
It's not real.
That's one thing we weren't allowed to do, Jane.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Horoscopes?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no way.
Can't read
Still
those.
no.
We used to sit around the breakfast table and read them to each other when I was a kid.
Well, the people.
Today you're gonna spill coffee on your lap and burn your crotch. Oh.
I never read one like that.
No, that might have been fortune cookie.
They must have special ones in Wisconsin. That are more specific. So for those of you who don't know, I said it. Jane is my sister, but we grew up in a Christian home with rather strict parents, or at least one.
Well, look. Is it strict? Like, can you call a parent that follows the Bible strict? Like, because when someone says strict, I kind of tend to think legalistic.
I would say our parents were legalistic.
I didn't think so at the time, but
it made sense to you at the time. You weren't like.
Yeah, no, I didn't think my parents were strict until other people told me my parents were strict.
Oh.
Seriously.
Yeah,
like who?
It never crossed your mind on a Sunday afternoon as a kid when you're bound you have to take a nap in your bed on Sunday afternoon?
It didn't until my friends told me. They said, "How can you?" Or my friends' parents would say,
"Oh,
that's they would say that's ridiculous that your parents do that." And I'm going, "Really?"
Oh, so then we see where the seed of rebellion was planted. You were influenced by the world.
As is everyone.
Well, right. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's so interesting, because I'm raising kids, and you're raising your sons, and Tim's raising kids and everything, and I think Chloe would Chloe would probably look at our life as just normal, the way we do things, and probably the way you looked at everything, like, oh, this is just pretty much
Right.
what people do. And then you have some demonic, ungodly parent say, that's ridiculous, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that is ridiculous.
Right. Right.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of things you don't want to know from.
And then the wheels fell off.
We used to think we got a lot of Christmas presents until we found out how many Christmas presents other kids got. It's like, what? How many? What?
No, we always got a lot.
Me,
Yeah.
you're the favored child.
Yep.
She doesn't want to talk about it.
I worked
Jane-
hard to get to be the favorite.
Jane had her own special Christmas after all the other kids went to bed. They were like, okay, Jane, come down here. We have 7 more presents for you.
No, it's like, don't tell anybody. Here's a check. Take this.
Mhm. I so want to ask Jane some questions. It would be so fun to get her response too. But
Let's do it. It's
No.
April Fools.
no, we have family members who are still ignorant of the facts. So let's just leave it at that.
Oh, man. See,
And they all
that's-
listen to the podcast too. So
Do they really? Well, thanks for listening, family who are ignorant of your relatives' malfeasance.
All right, I'm gonna put down a timestamp right there for a break.
Oh, are we going to move on to a serious topic now?
No.
'Cause that was a pretty fun one. I enjoyed it.
So let's talk about politics, Len. Donald Trump was just in your state.
Yeah, he was.
Boy, we can talk about Donald Trump.
and Hillary was in Syracuse today. Hillary?
Did
Was
you
in
go see
Syracuse.
Hillary? Did you go say hello to her?
No, she was at Varsity up on SU Hill. Anyways, go ahead.
That's exciting. I would be
James?
more excited about Hillary coming to town than Trump.
Really?
No,
Really?
No.
I would love to see Trump. I would love to see Trump. That'd be cool.
You're a Trump supporter, Gene?
No,
Oh, good.
I like
I
this-
thought I was going to have to rebuke
No.
you again.
no, I like the Celebrity Apprentice. That's why I like Trump.
I know it was a great show.
I was a big
Celebrity.
fan of the regular Apprentice much more than the Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh well, yeah.
But I watched them all. I read 2 of Trump's books. I read The Art of the Deal and Trump.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know what? Trump is an interesting cat. He's a dude that from a purely entrepreneurial aspect I've looked up to, actually. I think his book, The Art of the Deal, as someone who's been in sales for as long as I have, it's helpful. It's definitely helpful. There's nothing in there about how to, do anything deceptively or anything like that. But his philosophy is basically like, go big, Trump failed several times. He's been in and out of bankruptcy, and people look at this as if this is some big negative for him professionally. Yeah, like his multiple bankruptcies. Look, a lot of business people go bankrupt. That is no reason to there's a lot of things that you could criticize about Trump, but I don't think that's a legitimate one. And it's funny, he went bankrupt on a couple of deals where he basically said, I was so far in debt with my bank that we were basically partners. So, but his policies, the big thing is, like, what are they? Nobody knows.
Going to make America better. Make America
Well, that's
great.
fine, but he is like the perfect example of just platitudes. It's something that drives me crazy about American evangelicalism. Is just everything's just boiled down to a platitude. Well, God will never give you more than you can handle, or oh shucks, kind of. that's what Trump is. Trump is, we're going to make America great again. Great. Well, how?
Well, that's how Obama got elected.
Right, I know, and it just speaks to the stupidity of the American voter. The dumbing down of America is a very real thing, and it's worked. The American education system it's by design created to teach people what to think, not how to think. And now we see the result is that Trump, who literally has no ideas, no policies, who's literally changed his mind. He went from 18 months ago, a year ago, being like pro-choice, 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 to a week ago or this week saying we need to criminalize abortion and the mothers need to be charged with murder. It's like, whoa. Now, as an abolitionist myself, I tend to look at that and say, well, thank goodness a president is finally saying that. Like, that is a conversation that needs to be held publicly and on a large stage. And it's really good that someone like Trump, who, if anyone, now maybe people will discount it because it's Trump saying it and it's so radical and everything he says is pretty radical. So people might just dismiss it.
Well, he already put his mind on it.
Right. And there's a problem,
Yeah.
I mean, so that's like the microcosm of who Trump is. And it's real easy to look at it and say, well, you can't do worse. You can't. Yes, you can. You can always do worse. There is no bottom in politics. Okay, there's no.
I don't see why he changed his. Like, I heard that somebody asked the question. Somebody asked a question in a town hall meeting. They raised their hand, or they were set up to ask a question, and they said to Mr. Trump, I really the questioner said, I really appreciate your sons. They're so polished, they're so polite, they're so well spoken, they think before they speak. I'm really impressed with the way they handle themselves. Why can't you be more like your sons? They asked him that, and which was really a zinger. And then he complimented all of his kids, but one of them he didn't. But when Jane and I, and Len, you too, you see him on The Apprentice, there was a certain demeanor that he had. It's like, yeah, he could be blunt, but he wasn't like a jerk the way he is now. Like he's I think he's figured out that being a jerk sells.
I mean, you almost feel like America's getting trolled, don't you? Is he just trolling all of us?
From the start.
Yeah. It's
scary now. I mean, I thought it was interesting. At first, but now it's just flat out scary.
Oh, yeah.
Could be president.
I think that having a businessman in office, I have no problem with it. I think, you can go back to Ross Perot, who is a very, very successful businessman. Don't know whatever happened to him. Maybe he went bankrupt and died destitute since. I have no idea. I have no idea what's gone on with Ross Perot since then. But I have no problem with someone with a business acumen coming in and being president, because I think that they business people just look at numbers differently than you and I do, than politicians do. Most politicians are lawyers. Most senators, Congress people, most people who've sat in the presidential desk in the Oval Office have either been military leaders or lawyers. And that's kind of historically the way it's been. So what would be wrong with someone with a strong business perspective coming in, especially with our national debt in the shape that it is, and someone who has a successful business, and they look at our country like a business, and they say, we cannot run it this way. My business would go bankrupt. So here's how, if this country was my business, how would I turn it around? And they implement policies as such. Maybe Trump could do that, but he has given no ideas to demonstrate he could possibly do that. And what it makes you think is that Trump is smart enough to get to the position that he's in, to where he can surround himself with people who handle those other details, which is a good skill to have too, right? I mean, I kind of think that just as a human being, I want to surround myself with people much smarter than myself so I can learn and grow and everything like that. And if Trump could build a cabinet in such a way that he's built his business and bring in smarter people, but boy, you don't see it. Like, there's no ideas. There's nothing policy-wise put on the table that can be looked at and scrutinized and said, yeah, this is worthy of my vote, or no, this is terrible and it's not the right thing. Just platitudes.
Well, even that's not, on top of, not having any specific plans, there's his attitude and his lack of morals in many areas.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to go back an awful long time before you find a president who we could call moral. Ronald Reagan, maybe.
Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter, sure.
Southern Baptist.
Nixon, Kennedy. Yeah, I mean,
Clinton.
Look,
He went to church.
the moral compass of this country is just dead. So, yeah, I tend to think that this is just one of those. This is going to be another election that I likely sit out of. If Trump gets the nomination, I'm going to vote in my local elections. We have a big mayoral race in my town right now. That has far more impact on my everyday life than the presidency does. And I've been kind of advocating that for a while during this political season, is understand your local politics. Do you know what the purpose of the alderperson is? Do you know the political positions of your sheriff? These are important things. More so, I think, in the everyday life of a person. It just so happens that the presidential thing, it's like the Super Bowl, or the Final Four, or whatever. It's just fantasy sports, but it's politics.
Wait a minute. As we segue, Final Four. Jane just.
Go SU! Woo! Yeah.
Weren't they bounced?
No.
What?
Syracuse is in the
Len.
Final Four.
Haven't watched a single game. Couldn't tell you. You two
By the-
talk now. I'll just mute my mic and you two talk.
Oh, stop. Oh, my goodness.
Syracuse University has 2 teams in the Final Four. Len, what do you have to say about that? 2 teams in the Final Four.
How is that possible?
Yeah, Len. How's that possible?
Well, Matthew 10:28, with God all things are possible.
And that's how it happened.
Yep.
Syracuse University men and women are in the Final Four. And Jane's son is in the pep band for the women's Final Four.
Mhm.
Where is he? Houston?
He's in Indianapolis right now.
Indianapolis. How's he doing?
He has ceased communication with home. He must be having a good time.
You know what happened? He got talking to other people's parents, and they told him how strict you are. And they said,
Yeah,
you know what?
You text your
Maybe
mom?
they're
Are you
right.
kidding me?
You text your mom every 15 minutes? Why?
You know what's funny though? He got in trouble today because he's at the hotel and he decided to pick up his trombone and start practicing in the bathroom at a hotel. Okay, at around 9 o'clock at night, and someone pounded on the door. It was like the head of the pep band and said, "You can't do that. You can't play your trombone in a hotel bathroom," because I think some of the guests were complaining.
So, Jane and I are big Syracuse University fans. Her son attends Syracuse, and that's the only sport I really watch. Only sport I watch and really get excited about. We watch football too, NFL, but Syracuse University basketball, that's where it's at.
Yeah, we lost Len. He's back.
You lost?
He doesn't play Pokemon.
No.
No, that's football.
I'm writing down a timestamp because we just died.
You died?
Yep.
Is that my
Dead.
fault?
So, Len, why don't you tell us where you're going to be next weekend? This weekend. That'll be this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ohio Fire. Ohio Fire is this weekend. We will be there with Phil Johnson of Grace to You, Andrew Rappaport, Dr. I can't remember his first name for the life of me. Dr. White from Cedarville University. I believe he's the president of Thomas White. Dr. Thomas White of Cedarville University is going to be there. We are going to be hearing a lot of discussion on the Word of God, and the fire conferences, you guys, the focus is evangelism. This is to train you in evangelism and apologetics, whether you are going out on the streets or you just need to learn to communicate with your loved ones and your co-workers and things like that. This is going to be a time of great encouragement for you. If you're a street evangelist and you kind of feel isolated and alone, because I know that feeling. In your church, you don't necessarily feel supported. You have a hard time getting people to go out with you to do evangelism. This will be a great time of encouragement and refreshment for you. So I encourage you to go to strivingforeternity.org or BibleThumpingWingnut.com. You can register. You guys, this event is free. It is free. Free. Doesn't cost a thing. It's going to be at my friend Michael Coughlin's church. It's a suburb of Columbus. I don't remember exactly the name of the town. But it's going to be worth your while, you guys. It is going to be really an amazing time of worship, fellowship, and I encourage you guys to come out. Basically, here's my plan. Okay, I'll have a table outside with our T-shirts and everything, and I want to meet everybody, especially you wingnuts who come out. And I'm going to have Mixler running. We're just going to kind of do some open mic time. So come up and you can be on the podcast for a couple minutes. Say who you are, where you came from, and yeah, it'll be great.
How much you love us?
How much? Yes, tell us. We can't hear it enough. But no, it's gonna be a great time because the best part is that we're going to take everything that we've learned and we're going to go out on the streets and apply them. We have Michael and Andrew have team leaders set up. We're going to go to downtown Columbus, which, by the way, it's one of the best places I've ever done street evangelism. And I've been a lot of places. I've been to New Orleans, Minneapolis, I've been to New York City, and it's one of the best places I've ever done street evangelism. And it's a very homosexual-friendly town, Columbus is. It's kind of like the San Francisco of the Midwest, and I don't think I'm exaggerating in saying that. I mean, Tim, you remember all the rainbow flags hanging from every single light post downtown?
Yeah.
I mean, it's men walking hand in hand, women walking hand in hand, and these are the places that we're called to bring the gospel into. So this is a free conference. Come on down. Please register before you come. There's a grab bag given to everybody who comes to the conference if you register early, and there's gifts from Grace to You, John MacArthur's ministry. I believe we have some gifts from either Wretched or Way of the Master. I can't remember. Michael was telling me some of this stuff, but the grab bags are always awesome, always. So come on down. We want to see you guys there for sure.
And if you're listening to this podcast on Wednesday or Thursday, no need to register. Just show up.
No, you should register, but yes,
No,
show
just
up. Show up.
Get there. Just drive there.
Get
Drive-
there. Look, I'm driving. My whole family's coming. This will be the first time that usually I bring Chloe along, and this is the first time that my wife and my son are going to come down. Yeah, it'll be a great time. Jay from Wrath and Grace is going to be there.
Len
Joe
might-
Lanza's coming.
Len might be clean shaven when he gets there too.
Ooh. Ooh.
There's silence. I just like
We'll
it's
see.
like I just popped burst his bubble. So silence.
Yeah.
When's the last time you were clean shaven, Len?
Last August. No, last July.
Clean shaven. Nothing.
Clean shaven. Oh,
Like-
I haven't been clean shaven in like 5 years.
Yeah.
I've always had at least like a soul patch.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we get to the results of our auction now? Jane, Len, and I had a discussion about a month ago now on adult coloring books, and Len was astounded to find out that Jane and I have no problem with adult coloring books. Matter of fact, Jane is someone who enjoys coloring books, adult coloring books, and Len, which was a great moment. I don't know what episode that was whatever episode that was. It's a classic when Len picks up his art piece and displays it after he's been telling Jane that coloring is just stupid and all this other
See,
stuff.
and that's the problem. Your infantile coloring mind can't tell the difference between art and coloring. That's why you think it's ironic. No one else with a logical mind thinks it's ironic, just you. So carry on.
So Len and I agreed that we would have an auction to settle the score, and whoever's piece went for higher amount, that would determine which argument was valid, right, Len?
Something like that.
And you vowed that if your piece did not sell for more, you would shave your face, and you also vowed that if your piece brought more, that Jane would shave her head. That's the vow that you made for Jane.
Yes, that is what he said.
Yes, that is what he said.
Don't
So-
be a coward. Don't be a coward now, Jane.
Oh, I am not a coward.
Okay, well, we'll see.
So the funds that came in or will come in when these people realize that they are the winning bid, all of them will go to help out the Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast. So, which one do you want to hear first? Len's piece or Jane's?
Let's hear Jane's first.
Jane's art sold, highest bid was $152.75.
Ooh.
How many total bids were there?
There were multiple bids on both pieces. There were multiple people, and some people bid more than once.
Okay.
They got nervous.
Or they cranked it down. I didn't approve that with the wife first. Can I crank that down $50?
$152.75.
Congratulations, Jane. That's very admirable.
That's great.
That's amazing.
So I can tell you that the difference between first and second place is, if I did my math right, $1.74.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Did you do your math right? I'm skeptical.
Len's piece sold for $150.99.
Wow.
Ooh.
Not too shabby.
Of $174. Over $300 raised from the wonderful art pieces that the two of you put together.
Wow, that's awesome.
Jane's sold for $1.74 more.
I did.
Well done, Jane.
Woohoo!
Well done.
Why, thank
Congratulations.
you.
All
Very-
going to a good cause.
Yes, it is.
And yep, a beautiful cause, a wonderful cause.
Well,
So
thank you
thank
to
you
everyone who participated. Go ahead, Tim.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. And if you are one of those people with those amounts, you need to tell me a couple things. What you want done with that piece, and where you want it sent, and also if you would like to remain anonymous, or if you would like to be lauded before the crowds. Is that the proper use of that word?
I want to know who it was.
With your husband. You have very short shipping.
I tried to get him to bid.
You don't know my husband, Len.
Yeah.
He's very frugal.
Yeah. Does he? No, Jane. You can't have the box of 64. The box of 20 is plenty.
You want me to do what? Buy your coloring? What? What are you?
Crayons are expensive. We're going to the dollar store. He like goes to IHOP and saves the crayons that they give in the kids menus. Yeah.
No, he's getting older now. You got to save the what do you call them? The creamers.
Oh, really?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. He doesn't make you shake him into butter?
What?
The creamers make you shake him into butter?
What?
You know, if you shake those long enough, they turn into butter.
Yeah, it's cream.
Oh yeah.
Tell Nicholas that.
My kids don't play with the stuff on the table.
Is that because you tell them not to?
That's because
Absolutely. It's rude.
Put the jelly down.
She has a wooden paddle with nails sticking out of it, and she slaps it home.
It's got like the Board of Education engraved into it.
They would play with things, but their hands are all bandaged up.
They do not.
Jane, you're known as helicopter mom of Syracuse.
And that's okay. You should tell everyone about that Easter, how we all went out to dinner one time, and I went to the bathroom, and you said my kids acted totally different with just Dad around.
Oh, let's hear that story.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I know
Oh,
the fact. Yeah, Jane keeps her kids in line. Wait until they're away from your protective. What will happen then?
You know what?
That's why I haven't heard from my son since he's been in Indianapolis.
You know, I'm going to be going through Indianapolis on the way to Ohio Fire. You want me to check on him? I go right through Indy.
No,
you give me his address. I'll take some pictures and text him to you.
No. He might be on TV.
Really? Cops?
No.
No, he'll be on.
He's in the pep band.
That's awesome.
What team are the women playing?
Oh man, I don't even know. I know that we want them to play UConn for the championship.
Well,
is it the Lady Vols? Are the Lady Vols in there? Pat Summit?
No, I don't think so.
I don't even... Are they playing Washington? No. I don't know what they're playing.
Somebody Google it. This is gripping Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast right here.
People don't care.
You know, we did just have Easter. What did you guys do for Easter? Jane, tell us about Easter in the Magari household.
We had to get up really early because the family was playing in the service. Both boys play in the ensemble. My husband plays guitar. We had the service, and then we had a continental breakfast. And we went to lunch, and we took a walk down at the lake. And that's about it.
Jane and her perfect.
Nice.
It was a perfect day.
Yes. It sounds perfect. I saw the pictures on Facebook by the lake. Those look nice.
Smiling.
Everyone was smiling.
Yeah.
Now, were they genuine smiles, or were they smiling because you told them to? Smile!
Those smiles were genuine smiles.
They look genuine.
there's
I'm
a lot
teasing.
of painful background to a lot of our pictures, though, because it is so difficult to get my family to cooperate. And my husband is the worst of them all. I tell everyone to smile, and he starts tickling the boys or wiggling around, or anyways, it's really painful. For one shot, I take about 100. So,
No, that's an exaggeration.
all right, about 80.
What'd you do, Len?
Well, my mother-in-law is in the nursing home, so we went to the nursing home. My brother-in-law, who made our banners for us, by the way, and him and his wife and daughter were up. We went to one of our favorite restaurants called 2510, and they have the best. It's called Krabby Mac and Cheese. It's their homemade mac and cheese with crab meat in it. It's fantastic. It's the best thing ever. So we had that, and I taught my son how to play checkers, and we played checkers at the restaurant. And then to my surprise, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, they do not go to church. My wife grew up Lutheran. And pretty much once they got out of the house out from under mom and dad, they stopped going to church. So out of the blue at the nursing home, my brother-in-law was like, "So he said, are we going to church tomorrow?" So we're like, yeah. Yeah, so we're very excited because my pastor, he preaches the thunder. So heard a excellent sermon on the close of 1 Peter chapter 1. Where Peter is making his argument on the resurrection and the transformation of the mind, and it was great. It was a very good sermon to both encourage the believer and to, Lord willing, bring conviction upon the unbeliever, and how the focus of the sermon was that with outside of Christ, our life is meaningless. Everything we do is not meritorious. It was an amazing sermon, and it was one of those. You ever sit through a sermon and you think in your mind of somebody who needs to hear it, like, oh, it was kind of that thing where I was sitting there and I was like, I'm so thankful that they are here hearing this sermon right now. And for quite a bit of it, I was thinking about them and then I was thinking, like, I was becoming encouraged by it. And it's like, I need this. I need this gospel. I need this message every day of my life. It's easy to think about the unsaved people around us who we wish, the Lord would bring salvation to, and pray for that. But, this simple message of the gospel of repentance and faith, and it's for us. It's for us as believers too. So I was very encouraged by it.
Amen. We had a regular Resurrection Day here in Pennsylvania. We have our family members over to our house, and we have ham. We don't have mac and cheese on Resurrection Day. That's not a tradition we've adopted here.
You eat the unclean swine.
Yes. Yeah.
Amen.
We eat the swine, and had family members over, and it was good. It was good. And then we had a Google Hangout at night. Nobody showed up. That was awesome. I'd like to get Larry Herzog to show up someday.
Someday.
He's too busy at the gym working out with one of his personal.
Is Larry a workout fanatic? Is he one of those guys?
Committed guy.
Oh, good for him. He lives in Wisconsin. I gotta hook up with Larry sometime.
So, that's all the topics that I have, unless you want to try to talk about one. See how it goes.
Nah, I think we've covered what we can. I think we've got a good show right now.
We could end by talking about coffee.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jane, are all cups of coffee the same?
No, they are not.
How much time do you spend making coffee on the average morning? Just making it.
A cup for myself will take me about 10 minutes.
1 cup.
1 cup.
I've got to
One
hear
cup.
about the process of how this coffee comes into fruition.
She's going to use terms you won't understand.
No. Yeah, he will. I posted it online. It's a real quick, like 30-second video. It's all about tasting nothing but coffee. It's a clean cup of coffee. Meaning use.
I'm drinking dirty coffee, Len.
So like my hazelnut vanilla creamer is polluting my coffee.
The coffee tastes only as good as how you prepare it. I don't use my coffee maker anymore because it makes the coffee taste like the plastic of the coffee maker, the sediment, all that stuff. So I do it in glass with a clean filter that's been cleaned with hot water, and I grind my beans fresh. And then
Now, do you keep your beans in the freezer? I've heard that's the best way to keep your beans fresh.
No, because the condensation does something to it. That's like, remember a long time ago, did you ever smoke cigarettes? They used to say putting a pack of cigarettes in the freezer kept them fresh, but it doesn't. It just causes condensation build up on it. Anyways, my coffee is delicious. It's delicious. And once you taste a really good cup of coffee, you will take 10 minutes to make 1 cup.
Do you have the kind of coffee beans that the monkeys eat and then poop out and then?
No. I don't know if it's monkeys that eat them though. Isn't it something else?
Something.
Like
some kind of
a goat or something?
a goat poop coffee beans. Sounds amazing.
No, it's just fresh beans from a local place.
Are they
And
free trade? Are they free trade, or are children being whipped as they pick them from trees?
I don't know. I'll sit for an answer. I don't know.
See, like Michael Coughlin, actually, who is the MC of Ohio Fire and is kind of the backbone of the conferences, he makes coffee the way that you do.
Does he do pour over or French press or just the pour over?
Yep. He and one of the highlights of Ohio Fire to me is being at his house Sunday to go to church and having fellowship. It's usually him, Mike Stockwell, what's his name, Robert Gray, and Phil Johnson will be there this year too, and sitting around the table having his wife's egg bake and his amazing coffee. And it is amazing coffee, but I still put creamer in it.
Well, that's okay, as long as it's not hazelnut, vanilla, caramel.
Macchiato.
Do you read how many ingredients are in that stuff?
Oh, does it look like it matters to me? Do I look like one who reads labels? Yeah, I like sweetness. I like flavor, and are you an iced coffee person?
Sometimes. Sometimes, yeah, if it's good iced coffee. I don't know.
To me, most iced coffee just tastes like coffee that's been left out, and then it tastes old. So I've never liked it. But
if you made a fresh cup of coffee, really strong, and then you just added ice to it, I would drink it that way.
Okay. Well, and Tim, you don't drink coffee anymore because stones happened to you.
I drink it on Mondays now for my
Oh,
Monday
Monday
video.
morning coffee rants. See, most people don't know this. On the Bible Thumping Wingnut YouTube channel, every Monday, Tim would make a coffee rant video, and he would pull his truck over at usually a nice wooded backdrop at a truck stop or something, and Tim would rant about some stupid things the atheists said over the weekend, because the weekend, that's when all the Google Hangouts are happening in the great debate community. And Tim, the Lord has gifted Tim to be able to sit through hours of atheist hangouts and listen to all of the incredibly stupid things that are said. And so then he would address them. And it's like a 4-minute, really pithy, punchy video. And so Tim's doing that again. So you have to go subscribe to the BibleThumpingWingnut.com YouTube channel to get these coffee rants. I'm excited about it. When I saw you do another coffee rant, Tim, I was literally like driving, and I had to pull over and watch it.
Yeah, now it's more of a rant about maybe what happened on Sunday night Google Hangout.
Yep.
Because I still don't I haven't got back into watching those, the atheist hangouts, because I just,
it's more of the same. It's pretty redundant.
Low hanging fruit. You know, I would rather watch a short video by somebody that these low hanging fruit folks are looking up to, and then make a comment. That's what I did. I looked at Matt Dillon's argument against fulfilled prophecy and kind of poked at that. So
yeah, I will link to that video in the description here. So if you're listening to this on iTunes or SoundCloud, the link to Tim's coffee rant, because I won't say it, but the argument Matt Dillahunty made against fulfilled prophecy might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, and people are defending it.
I was so happy when I heard him make it.
I was so happy that his mind has been darkened by his wicked heart.
Well, no. So, folks, thanks for listening. This has been a little different type of a podcast, just kind of hanging out and talking about regular stuff. No big exhortations from the scriptures today or theological conversations. Just getting together and talking about what's on our minds, and from Lord willing, from a Christian perspective. Pray for Len. Pray that he would stop lying on April Fool's Day. And give us your feedback. Go to BibleThumpingWingnut.com. Give us your feedback at there. You find the link to send us a message. Pray for us. As Len is traveling to Ohio Fire, I'll be traveling to Cleveland 2 weeks later for another conference. We'll both be going to Jersey Fire in July, and then we'll be going to California in September. So pray for those. And as always, thanks for listening, and we're done here, right, Len?
Well, we do have SoundCloud stats.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great because we have some new cities, and we have some very familiar cities in the top 10. In fact, we have a number one. Our number one I have never seen in the top 50 before. And it's international. Dublin, Ireland. Dublin, Ireland.
They found us.
They found us. They found us in Dublin. So email us if you are in Dublin. Send an email to BibleThumpingWingnut@gmail.com and tell us who you are. We want to hear from you. Number 2, Lebanon, Virginia, followed by Grand Prairie, Texas, Deerfield Beach, Florida, Tucson, Arizona, Murphy's, California, Champlin, Minnesota, Phoenix, Arizona, St. Paul, Minnesota, and rounding out our top 10 is Houston, Texas. And sorry, Katy, Texas, you just missed the top 10 by one listen. So thank you very much to everybody who's listening to the Bible Thumping Wingnut Show. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud. Go to BibleThumpingWingnut.com and get all the links.
Did you see who our number 9 listener is?
I did. I did.
Wow, that was a Nacho Libre I did.
That's Jane.
I haven't seen Nacho Libre. Is it good?
Oh, man. It's one of those dumb movies that you have to see like 5 times, and then it gets really funny. Because every time you watch it, it's even fun. Napoleon Dynamite-ish.
Oh, see, I love Napoleon Dynamite. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Nacho, it's like you just don't understand what, but I love that movie. Whenever I'm down, I watch it.
That's because you like impromptu baptisms.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Jane, what's wrong with your computer? What is with that?
I don't know. Does
What?
it do it even after I mute it?
No, we can't hear it if you're muted, but we've never heard that before. Is it the same computer you always use?
It is. It is.
It's very weird. Do you have it on a different surface? Like, did you put a tablecloth down or something? Something that might restrict airflow and cause the fan to come on?
No, the fans. No, I hardly ever use this computer anymore. Actually, I just use my smartphone. I don't know.